make sure that we develop a method by which we are always, we always continue to train ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's another type of fasting that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said is better. That is fasting one day and drinking the other day.
Yeah, that's Sawmu Dawood.
Okay.
So iftar yomin, or Sawmu yomin or iftar yomin.
Tell us something about it.
Yeah. It used to happen. There was a time that one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad made it clear to him that for him he was always continuously fasting. But the Prophet of Islam explained to him, look, for him the Prophet was not fasting that every day. Because the fact of the matter is this: as a human being, you are a human being. You have so many other obligations in the community. There are obligations that you owe to your family, obligations you owe to the community, there are obligations that you owe to society,
and to your
obligations to your own self and to your workplace. You understand? And you have to satisfy all these obligations. So it is good to fast though, but if continuous fasting, and usually continuous fasting take a lot of energy out of the person, it may seriously affect your performance in other areas. Therefore, it is not advisable. So if you're so fond of fasting, then maybe the easiest way is this, and it's equally rewarding, richly rewarding, that fast today, tomorrow you break. So that the energy that you lose today, tomorrow you regain it. By the next day you are up to do another fasting. You understand? But I think what we know in the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is equally rewarding, and also it gives us some time to break. It gives us some time to regain our energy. You either be fasting 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays, or 3 days a month. I think this particular, formula is at the same time very rewarding, and also it gives you time to rest, it gives you time to break, it gives you time to regain the energy that you may lose during that fasting. Allahu Alam.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. I think that's the aspect of it that deals with fasting. Now, we all understand Islam. There are certain worships that are not based on seasons, but there are others also that are based mainly on seasons. For example, you have the Hajj, and you have the Ramadan. It's a season. Now, the Ramadan season is off. The Hajj season is on. We're about to enter that very, very dynamic and very important calendar or time of the year. Now, can you explain to us, Doctor, if you say Hajj, where does the word emanate, Hajj? It's meaning literally, and also Islamically, what does it denote?
Literally, mean Hajj e hujju. That is to aim at something, mean qasada yaqsudu, to intend to do a particular act or to do something. That's the origin of the word. But because if you look at the technical meaning, it is a special act of ibadah or a special act of worship or devotion for which Muslims from all over the world will make up their mind, take a particular direction, aiming at a particular place at a given time. You understand? They make up their journey, prepare themselves, and they leave for a very, very specific direction. All of them will converge on that direction. So they will aim at that direction within a given period of time, like you've just mentioned, and also at a particular location in that place. So then you see the literal meaning is very close, in fact almost the same as the technical meaning. It's an activity during which one will aim at a particular place. You understand? Now it is the fourth pillar, or what you can call it the fifth pillar of Islam. One of the pillars of Islam, whether you call it 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, is the same. These 5 pillars are core, and they must coexist for anybody who can do it.
Is it a force?
Well, normally they will tell you that the Shahada is first. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
I mean, is it force?
Yes. It's mandatory for those that can afford it, financially and physically.
We'll come to that.
You will come to that. In fact, you know that Abu Bakr, when it comes to Islamic duties, affordability or ability to perform as well as important. And the most important condition is what we call legal competence. Even prayers, 5 daily prayers. They are not mandatory for everybody. They are only mandatory for those of us who are legally competent, those of us that reach the age of maturity. And also those of us that are physically, well, for Salat, of course, the moment you are legally competent, it becomes mandatory. Even if you are not, even if one is physically impaired or visually impaired, it is so. But legal competence is important.
So in Salat, legal competence is only restricted to children, more or less, on the,
in other words,
who have reached puberty.
Yes, those that are not, those that haven't reached the age of maturity, they are not legally competent. So legal competence means mere maturity. Age of maturity. Okay. You understand? And age of maturity, whether you determine it by age-wise, when it comes to age-wise, in the conventional systems, they will give you different, you know, yeah, like in the common law, it used to be 21, for instance. Now, in many modern legislations, they will tell you 18. But in addition to the age yardstick, there are other natural characteristics. You understand? Some biological features in the human being, like the person is experiencing wet dream, for instance, or the person has beard if it's a man, or the person is, if a woman starts to menstruate, and so on and so forth. But once one is legally competent, once one reaches the age of maturity, Salat becomes mandatory.
Doctor, but I want you to redefine this again, because the Holy Prophet ﷺ said you should beat the children if they are 10 and if they don't pray. Why did you think he points out to that?
You know what, Abu Bakr, 10 years, and you know,
and they have
human beings are very different. There are people, if you see them by the age of 10, they are already big. Just travel to South Asia, for instance, or to eastern part of Europe, talking to other people. By the time they are 8, 10, 11, they are 10, 11, oh, they are huge already. There are communities where, you see, you know, here in this country, people who are 10 years old,
15 years,
they are still small.
Yeah.
You understand? So sometimes when it comes to the biological features in the human being, the people vary from one geographic region, from one environment to another one. You understand? And this sometimes is taken into account. But the fact of the matter is this, that even in our societies where people can be as old as 18 and they are still small, but when it comes to mental maturity, they are quite fine. But this 10 cut-off age is very important, because that is the time that in most societies, it's a very critical period in the development of the child, and the mental, the physical, and the psychological development of the child. And it is a very critical period. It is a period when they are already transforming into the other stage, which is very close to the age of maturity. And the beating is not necessarily to be interpreted literally, that take a yardstick and beat. But it's telling you that that's the time that you should be very strict when it comes to applying the Islamic, some of the, you know, how do you call it, the moral principles of Islam and the religious doctrines of Islam, so that they understand the seriousness. Like now today, if you're a child who is 5 or 6 years old, if you are praying with him, you in the prayer, he can leave the prayer and go. I mean, it's natural. He doesn't know he has not yet made understood the meaning of prayer. But by the time he is 9, before he reaches 9, you see some changes. By the time he is 10, he changes. Most of them, in fact, you see, I have seen many children this month of Ramadan. They are below 10, 8 years. They fast most of the days. If
you go to the provinces,
yes,
10 years they fast the whole of Ramadan.
Very good. They fast the whole of Ramadan. They don't miss prayers. And this is a very critical period. So and that is why this hadith should be understood this way, not necessarily literally that get a big stick and beat them. No, but teach them the values of Islam and be serious about the teaching of these values of Islam when they reach the age of 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a moment in which, as you've said, Muslims from all over the world gather at one place. What picture does it show for Islam? What does it signify?
You mean the Hajj?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Hajj. Oh, that's a very huge question to ask. It involves a lot of things. And this is the largest assembly of mankind on earth. It gives Muslims the opportunity, first of all, to take stock of the yearly activities.